So the Craft Legacy is a reboot. It's Hollywood's obsession with bringing back old properties and making it woke or making it terrible. Hollywood has always had this obsession going over the past 5 years, bringing back all this old stuff that people loved. They recently started skipping the bar about giving Borat a sequel, and now The Craft. Never heard of The Craft before. Again, 90s kids probably will remember it because it's a 90s movie. But the legacy has become a teeth or fermented era of the sequel, remake, reboot era of Hollywood. Studios has always wanted to make a company up the remaining sequel of thriller of some dated thing, performing some kind of a variance of its legacy. However nonsensical that word might be in the context of about old properties, like for example, they were trying to bring back the Harry Potter universe for Fantastic Beasts, Jurassic Park. They're trying to bring that. They brought back Star Wars. They brought back like all the big stuff. They're now bringing back the Matrix. Okay, is this like what's next? Is how you gonna bring back? Oh yeah, they're making Avatar 2 as well, but again, that has been practically in development how as well. What's next? We're gonna bring back. We're gonna make a sequel to Home Alone. Home Alone. Oh wait, Disney's already making that as well. But yep, what is the legacy of the Craft is a 1996 horror supernatural flick. A couple of teenage witches test the limits of their powers. It's also results. The surprise hit 24 years ago has elevated the cult classic status since then. Yep, it's a 90s movie. Do it. Such a strange, Becky entering the teen growl. Always remembered by the iconic line "We are the weirdos, Mister." The bad and of course, nobody needed a reboot nobody needed a reboot of the series. But again, I always said, okay, let's give them a sequel and a reboot 40 years later. Yep. No, 20 years later, not 40 years later. The Craft Legacy comes courtesy of Blumhouse, from director-writer Solista Brand Aid for its old school attentions. The glossy production comes like a feature-length episode of Netflix teen drama, narrowly a frame hit to the arresting energy of the edgy sleepover stable. Kaylee Skinner plays Lily, a new girl who has an unnamed town, evidently not LA like the original. Based on forwards where not Frankie and mother Helen, the movie into Helen's new boy friend Adams, who is biblically named teenage sons, a queer half-help guru with explicit message to preserve toxic masculinity of all time. Oh yes, the evil toxic masculinity was just made up by Twitter. Basically, essentially, a terminology made up by the 5 people on Twitter, obviously, to, as well. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, okay? If you want to be you can be you. No, you don't have to abide by Twitter's rules, okay? I wonder who the villain will be. Lily's mother tells you that the difference is your power, what possesses Lily is misfit because nothing else about her successes. But on the first day of school, Fiona West's outcasts who haven't been witches are kind of to her after hearing an accident. Soon realize the supernatural gift covers the fourth. Was strengthened by magic by having wonder about each element in the East Cardinal direction. It's great to see a mainstream movie with a diverse quarter of leads. Of course, that's all they care about is diversity. But diversity isn't really that great. Of course, Twitter loves diversity. That's the favorite thing about movies now. Every movie is diverse now. And Twitter still complains they don't have enough diversity. Okay? Which is just absolutely hilarious, right, about Twitter. They just want more and more and more until Hollywood shoots themselves in the foot, and then they're dead. Okay? And Hollywood listens to them. Regrettably, the script doesn't really define any good at all, but it's equal opportunity branded, which is good, I guess. Making a teen movie inclusive does not mean every character who is not white needs to provide us a clumsy, teachable moment. However, here we are. Saying for woke, threatening dialogue that even the chaos bag can't cast as disguise as an authentic teenage conversation. Wokeness is not a bad thing, but a film can demonstrate conscious and active empathy. Wokeness is kind of a really bad thing because it ruins movies as well. It ruins a lot of movies, even small things like like an X-Men Dark Phoenix, like X-Men should be renamed the X-Woman. That ruins movies, okay? That can ruin a movie, okay? In fact, Ricky, a plot that what this film does is it performs a spell into the bully's beef self, which turns out to be someone who is Same Pies quoting Zach Morrow's article selling a super erratic playlist. The Coven seeks to use magic to build kindness at the builder community, which is great at all, but 0% why anybody wants to watch a movie about teen witches. I found myself debating whether Panda's choice seamlessly forwards Gen Z to coincidences or Gen X devotion to the original. In the last 15 minutes, the craft Easter egg turned into something like an Easter parade, and confirmed that the older crowd wins out. The Dirty World Legacy is right there in the title. There is no separating the movie from its predecessor, invoking that the nostalgia will certainly draw some viewers. But the Ring both rehearsed a new film, considering that how mild it is compared to the inspiration since the original movie was rated R. Unnecessary, so, but still the fact that it could spark an MPA rating that bad could speak out how transgressive it felt. The craft was not wholesome, so it did not feel safe, which was why it resonated so deeply. Teachers not resonated are not always wholesome. High school is often not a safe space. Activists thought they might be, but Gen Z is somehow exempt from this sense of watching Euphoria. Fleming's Craft saw 4 young women in their own power trying to learn to harness it and scaling themselves to each power of they're capable of. When Legacy signs away from letting its heroines make any mistakes, it loses the thing that pierces. They need to test the bounds a little too far, a little too selfishly, and the supernatural coming aids feel meaningful like the original. Instead, the only true threat comes from outside, not from the Coven, but the Origin generation, and the film preaches hate too heavily about the power of sisterhood and community above all else. But what do these things mean when the players haven't gotten individually too? At the end of Legacy, each of the races have become less interesting and less distinct. Kind of like paper cutouts. Like every feminist woke movie ever. That's the part of all these feminist and woke movies. They always go this path where they have these super uninteresting and boring characters that you don't get attached to because they are basically trying to promote the message more than building their own characters. You don't really remember any of these characters from these movies. Heck, I remember more characters from a generic blockbuster more than these woke garbage movies because they're just paper cutouts. That's all they are. I'm sorry to tell you, but they got you left in the 90s. And yeah, the Craft Legacy is complete garbage. Avoid this at all costs. Here it is. Woke Witchcraft sequel is smart but messy. And yeah, a woke witchy reboot casts an unconvincing spell. So if you're looking to find movies for Halloween, just watch the original Craft instead. Don't watch this remake or reboot. Or just watch something that you already like on Halloween. Just don't watch this complete garbage. And I think people are agreeing here. Look at the IMDb score, which is quote-unquote the most reliable site on the face of the planet. It has a 4 out of 10 on IMDb. A 4 out of 10. And 52% of people like this movie. Only 52%. I thought this movie was supposed to be this big movie. The Craft, there too, was supposed to be this big movie. But it isn't. Nobody is going to watch it. It's going to be a big flop. Just like Black Christmas and other garbage movies that they didn't need to make a remake to. So yes, there you go. That is the Craft Legacy movie. And that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.